Okay, today this video is going to be a real simple video. I have a couple books that I would highly recommend anybody to read. Anybody who is interested in cutting, in childhood trauma, who's interested in multiple personality disorder, or MPD, or DID as it's now known, which is dissociative identity disorder. I have a couple books that you might like to read if you like anything about psychology. There's 3 really awesome books that I have that I want to suggest to you. Okay, the first one I'm going to suggest is this one's called Impulse. It's by Ellen Hopkins. It's an excellent book. It's written entirely in poetry type form. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's written in like poetry type form, but it's an actual novel, and it is written about basically 3 teenagers that end up in a mental ward, and it's actually a very accurate representation of a realistic mental ward and what it's like to actually go and be a patient there. So for anybody who's interested in finding out what it's like to actually go to a mental ward and experience a little bit about what that's about and everything, that's an excellent book to read. For those of you who've already been to a mental ward, I'm right there with you. So, but it's still a good book to read regardless. Just a suggestion of mine. Another book, 2 other books that I want to suggest is, of course, Sybil. If you want to read about MPD, this is a really good book to read. There's a lot of debate one way or another whether MPD actually exists or not, whether multiple personality disorder exists or not. I can say for myself that it is very true, that it is very real. I have MPD, and I love that book. It's an awesome book. It's a really good book. And I really would suggest to anybody who has any interest in, like I said, psychology or any kind of, just anything psychological, it's an awesome book to read. Particularly if you're interested in MPD, because it does focus on the main character, obviously, if you don't know, which it's kind of a widespread book. Everybody knows about Sybil. But, for those who don't know, Sybil, the main character has MPD, has multiple personality disorder, so, or DID as it's now being called, dissociative identity disorder. Another book that also focuses on, I feel like I'm doing Reading Rainbow or something like that little end bit about read this book. But no, seriously, another book that's really good if you like once again, if you want to read about MPD I can't get my tongue to work. In particular, this is another good one. It's called When Rabbit Howls. It's by the Troops for Trudy Chase. Now there's kind of a story behind that. You can look up Trudy Chase and you'll find it, but it's actually the Troops for Trudy Chase. What actually happened in that story is very, very unusual. I'll give at least this tiny little bit of a bleeper away. Is that the main soul personality actually died off, and so it's actually the parts what was formerly known as Trudy Chase, her parts actually worked together, collaborated on writing this book for Trudy. And so it's actually written by alter personalities, which is really fascinating. But those are 3 books that, and Sybil is by Flora Retta Schreiber. I'll hold the thing up so that you can actually see the way it's spelled. Okay? So, those are 3 really awesome books, and that's my little bit for today.